And welcome back to Lads of the Past Part 2. This is our top 80s films of all time. We've got a list. If you've gone into Part 2, please go back to Part 1 and listen to that. But I am joined with Brendan.
How we doing, guys? Everyone okay?
All good here, my friend. And I'm joined with Robbo.
80s, the best era of movies. You all know it. Let's hear it. Bosh.
Let's hear it. Bosh. So on the others, we've done action, sports, children's, and drama. We are moving on to an amazing subject now. We're going to go straight into horror. 80s horror films. Tough list. I mean, I'll start because I know you guys have still been looking into it because we decided that I was going to do it in the first part. So I'm going to go with number 5, The Thing.
Awesome film.
Great little film. I mean, The Thing was so good. Number 4, Gremlins. I'd class that as a horror. Straight up. Obviously, this had to be on the list. It was Nightmare on Elm Street. You can't have Freddy on a horror, not on an 80s horror list. You can't. No, this was tough because there was some really good horror films in the 80s. Like Dawn of the Dead or Jason, Poltergeist, Hellraiser, hundreds. So I've gone for these two because it shit me up as a kid, and I remember why, because it was banned in our country for years, and it was Chucky at number 2. It was banned. Can you remember? And because it was banned, everyone was like, "I've got Chucky on VHS." Like, no, you ain't. You're like, yeah, I've got Chucky, and we watched it as kids. And you sit there and you're like, "This, it wasn't bad." But because it was banned, you just automatically just said, yeah, it's bad, that. Oh, it's horrible. But it wasn't.
Worst film ever made.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And then number 1, all day long, without a doubt, Aliens. Alien. There you go, Robbo. Without a doubt, the number 1 best horror in the 80s. Try and beat 80s. Try and beat Alien. See if you can do it. So, yeah.
Who's next?
Let's go with you, Brent, because you've got a smug look on your face.
I'll just I've got 2 in there that you mentioned, but I'll go with number 5 was Maniac Cop.
Wow, that was so good.
Brilliant film. Maniac Cop 1 and 2 were awesome.
Oh, wicked film.
I mean, I'm not a massive horror fan. I mean, I don't know if I've mentioned it in any podcast before, but horror is not my genre. It's not because I'm scared. I'm just fucking half of them are just fucking so over the top. Just fucking, yeah. Number 4 was The Hitcher with Rutter Hauer.
Wow, that's a good one.
Amazing film, especially when he splits the girl in half with 2 trucks. Fucks all that about.
Beautiful.
Number 3 was a film that probably, watching it as a kid just freaked me out massive. It was just so fucking freaky. Sorry for the French, but Children of the Corn.
Awesome film. That is a good film.
Children of the Corn. So freaky, mate.
Mate, that was scary. Like, that was a really scary film.
Nuts freaky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 2 for me was, it's a great horror, but the ending's ruined it. But it's still a great horror if you watch it for the first time. That's It, the original It, with Tim Curry. All the way up until he turns into a stupid spider at the end. I was shitting myself.
Is it classed as a movie, though? It's a 2-part series.
Yeah, but you can buy it on one DVD, Robbo, so it's a film.
I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like like I can remember putting it on and just watching it, and I was shitting myself. I was like, mate, I'm shitting myself. This could really happen to us.
So that kid gets pulled into a pipe and gets folded and pulled into a pipe. Ooh.
But then at the end, when it turns into stupid fucking spider, mate, I was like, oh, that's just ruined it. But a great horror all the same. And then number 1 for me was just Poltergeist. Just great film. Yeah, just that was the one that I think that might have been one of the first horrors I ever watched.
Poltergeist was scary, man. That was scary.
Fair.
When we were kids, it was scary. Like, because I remember watching Poltergeist, and I remember I had stuff on my shelves, and I used to sit there and watch them and go like, "Oh my god, did that move?
I moved. I just moved.
Yeah, did that move? That moved."
Oh yeah.
And then it took me months to get over it because I used to sit there and just go, "Mum, that moved. That's moved." She's like, "You fucking no, you shouldn't have watched that film."
That's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You used to shit yourself or wake up having nightmares, and your mum say, I fucking told you not to watch that film, didn't I?
Yeah.
Go back to sleep, little twat.
Mum, my shoes were on this side of the room and now they've moved.
That's because you wore them earlier, you knobhead.
Go on, Robbo. Top 5 horror.
I'll start with one that is a horror, but it didn't really scare many people. Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. Awesome film. Feed me, Seymour.
I hated that film.
Me too.
Awesome, mate.
Oh, I can't stand musicals. No offense to anyone who likes musicals. I can't stand them. Even though I've been to fucking hundreds, I just can't stand them.
You might appreciate it more now. You never know.
Maybe. I might try and watch it, actually.
Number 4, easy one for me. Ash Williams and Evil Dead 2, amazing film.
Evil Dead. Great films. That's what I meant. Not Dawn of the Dead, Evil Dead. There's so many with the dead. Yeah, Evil Dead. What was the guy's name in it? What was the main guy in Evil Dead?
Ash Williams.
Ash Williams. Who was the guy who got his arm cut off?
I remember his name.
So he was an Evil Dead 3,
Yeah.
and he chops his hand off, and he's got that chainsaw on it, and then he's got
replaced it with chainsaw.
and it's like, this is my boomstick.
Awesome line.
He's amazing.
Cheesy 80s lines.
Amazing.
Number 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street scared me to death as a child. I watch it now, it's tame, but it scared me to absolute death when I was young.
Can you remember the song?
Yeah, I can.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Yeah.
3, 4, you better lock your door. Yeah, I do remember it. Thanks, mate.
5, 6, get a crucifix.
That's right.
7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep.
Again.
That plagued us. That plagued us when kids. And do you know what? I used to sing that to people. And they're like, Liam, stop it, please. I used to sing it all the time. Great film. Next one.
Number 2, I'm going to go for An American Werewolf in London. Awesome film.
Great film. Really good. Weirdly, I don't know why it's not on our list, but it was great. Really good.
And I've got to go for it because I've got it on my arm. Number 1, Alien. The original. One alien on a spaceship. Poor old Sigourney Weaver running for her life. Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, what can you say about Alien? Like, it's perfect. Again, another film. Even now, you watch it, it holds up to the new ones. Like, it's just brilliant.
Right out.
Yeah. And it's still scary. Like, it's still got that eerie...
It's when it goes really close to and starts drooling on her and you think, oh, God.
And the first time you see the alien rip out his chest, and you're like, that's the first time. Like, when you saw that as a kid, that was vile. But its highest grossing horrors, which is quite weird, Motel Hell.
Motel Hell?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that.
Prom Night. Never heard of that either. No? Here's one that I can't believe we never mentioned, was The Fog.
Fog's an amazing.
That was so good, wasn't it? That was really, really good. Number 2, I can't believe we never mentioned these. Friday the 13th. Great film. From the original, Friday the 13th was fantastic. And the ultimate horror from the 80s, The Shining.
I won't say The Shining.
Why did we say The Shining? No. Weird, isn't it? None of us mentioned
Rum.
Now we got the lovely part now, so we're going to go straight into comedy. Now this, for me, was the hardest out of all of them. That's why I did it last. I'll start with this one, just because I think we should all have different views on comedy. So I'll start with number 5, Uncle Buck.
Awesome.
Great film. Still brilliant.
Awesome.
Even the other day, I was watching some of the videos, creating videos, and I just saw the bit was like, have you ever heard of a mass murder? When it's in the car. Well, you might become one. I mean, and what was the other bit he said? And I was dying. I still laughed at it. It was like, here's $1. What's that for? To buy a rat to gnaw that thing off your face. Like, Uncle Buck, number 5. Great film. Now, another weird one. I watched it again. I watched this with the missus the other day because we're going for an 80s thing at the minute because we had this episode planned. So I wanted to go and watch some 80s. So Weird Science. Great
the best.
film.
That film were amazing.
Great film. And Jet as well, his older brother. Fucking just every character in it is brilliant. Even Robbie Downey Jr. Like every character that's in it. Even the guys that were in Mad Max. Like it was just. I mean, it's like you've got a nuclear missile in your bedroom. Like it's just weird. But that's the whole point of the film.
Weird science.
Yeah. National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh, God, you keep saying everyone on my list.
Oh, do it. That's good. That's good. National Lampoon's Vacation. I mean, when he gets his car, oh, it's European. He's just falls to piss. I mean, the European Vacation's even funnier. Dude. Like when he runs over Eric Idle in the car, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that." He's like, "I've just hit you with a car. You've got a leg. You need to go to hospital." He's like, "No, I'm sorry. It's just I'll brush it off. It's fine. I'll make my own way up." Number 2, I bored my eyes out, and I watched this recently as well. Is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Now, what a film! Yeah. And at the end, I cried, man, and I cried, and it was such a sad, amazing comedy. I love films like that because, again, obviously, you find out his wife died and whatnot. And if you've not watched it, tough shit. It's 80s. You've had 30 years. You've had 35.
We're going to watch it tonight.
You've had 30 years to watch it. And Spaceballs. Number 1, all day long is Spaceballs. All day long. I used to quote that shit at school, left, right, and centre. Oh, it's the Schwartz. I mean, mate, we fucking quoted that all day long. Look at this, the kid's flamethrower. Mate, the radar, it's jammed. Raspberry jam. Lone Star. Actually shoots a jar of jam at it. Mate, it's not. Oh, mate, I could quote it all day long. I am your father's best friend from your cousin's vacation. Oh, mate. And then it's not Yoda, it's yogurt. Like, just mate, I could do it all day. But Spaceballs is way there, up there, number 1. Fucking brilliant. I mean, but there's police academies. There's mate, there's fucking hundreds. Yeah, we'll go through your guys' list and then we'll discuss some other ones. So yeah, Robbo, what's yours?
Right, I've written a lot down because you've ruined everything I've just had. So many.
That was going to take all my fuckers.
Number 5, Crocodile Dundee, 1986.
Oh, Crocodile Dundee.
Awesome film.
Great film. Come on, what I want is a quote. I'll give you a story of every single film that I've just done.
That a knife? This is a knife.
I've got a... Don't worry, I've got a dunk. What's a... No, doink. What is it? What's his name?
It's a dunk.
Here's a dunk. Amazing. What's the next one?
1988, probably horror comedy, Beetlejuice.
Shit.
For me, it's just when he sat waiting, and there's that guy with a shrunken head. Just sat like that.
And he steals his number, doesn't he? Does he steal his number?
Beetlejuice had some of the best quotes, and I tell you what, it's quite adulty. When you rewatch it, I rewatched it. It's really, really adulty, and yeah, I loved it. It was a great film. I'm not going through Beetlejuice quotes because I could sit here all day.
Number 3 probably had the funniest opening I've ever seen with Eddie Murphy, Trading Places, when he plays the homeless guy with no legs from war.
Mate, what a film. And you get to see...
What does he say? What's he going? I'm from the 17th Battalion. Airborne 6.
Oh my God, it's a miracle. I can see.
And you get to see Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs.
Yeah, but she was fit.
She was fit. She was gorgeous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're not getting into that. Oh, Christ. Yeah, so there we go.
Number 2, we're going Police Academy 1984. I mean, the guy that could make so many different noises, he just amazed me.
Larval Jones. And again, if you guys want to check out, we've got a video of Larval Jones, all his best bits. A nice half-an-hour video of every single cool bit from him in Police Academy. Can't beat it.
Awesome. Number 1, it's staying there because you quoted it and you quoted it best. Weird Science, 1985. Amazing film.
Mate, what a film.
I can't move it out.
What was the woman in it? What was her name? Oh, that's going to bug me. And I had a massive
Is
crush
it,
on her. Massive crush.
Hang on.
Kelly LeBrock.
Hang on.
Kelly
she was
in-
LeBrock. Oh,
She was in Hard to Kill with Seagal, wasn't she?
yes,
Well,
she was like the perfect 80s woman. Like she was in.
They made the perfect 80s woman.
They did. Yeah, they did. Oh, I loved it.
That was the idea of the film. Let's make the perfect
My
woman. They did.
favourite bit in Weird Science, right? And I died when I heard this. Again, I watched it the other day because we do 80s, and we're doing 80s tonight as well. Was he opens the door to the two fit women, and she goes, "What are you doing in there?" And she went, "Oh, he's taking a shit." And it wasn't. He just took a shit. And then stood there going, "Oh, you dirty bastard!" And he's like, "I'll just light a match." And he stood there in the bathroom with a match because he's done a shit. Not. Sorry, it's just fucking funny. So funny. So come on, Bren, what's your top comedies? And I want to hear a story from every single one.
really?
Yeah, boy.
Okay, no bother. Number 5, Smokey and the Bandit. Loved it. And it's like when I don't know if it's from Smokey and the Bandit 1 or 2, but I'm sure it's 1. When the bandit gets away from the copper and he says to his son, "There's no way you can come from my loins. When I get home, I'm gonna punch your mother straight in the mouth." It was fucking brilliant. Like, yeah, I love that. Number 4, I think we've all mentioned it. Trading Places, just fucking comedy at its best. You know, I just think like Robert at the start there. He goes, "I'm from the 17th Battalion Airborne Marines." It's just like proper bullshit, and then he's walking away and he's going, "Thank you so much, thank you." You know what I mean? But yeah, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy were two of the comedy legends back in the 80s, I should say, because he's in at number 3. Eddie, 48 Hours with Nick Nolte.
Awesome.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light. But that was a good film. I love 48 Hours. Number 2, A Fish Called Wanda.
Wow,
Awesome.
great film.
John Cleese, awesome.
Yeah, it's like the guy's got a stutter, hasn't he? And he goes, can't remember his name, Kevin Kline, I think. He goes, Kenny, he's going to kill me. But yeah, Fish Called Wanda. I used to love watching that when I was younger. And then number 1, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Nothing comes close.
How good was that film? And it's still insanely good. It's funny and you're laughing. I mean, the bit, right? Go on, Brett. I tell you what. Do the bit where he goes to the car when everything's gone bad, and he walks up to the woman. Can you remember? And he goes,
yeah. He goes, "I want a fucking Datsun, a fucking Buick, a fucking Toyota." Fucking...
I've been sat in the fucking rain with the fucking car and the keys. I want my fucking keys. I want my fucking car. I want my fucking pee out fucking side. Fucking. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, we haven't got that in now because you've lost your receipt. You're fucked." No.
I just love the bit. I love the bit when Steve Martin he pays for the taxi and John Candy steals it, doesn't he? And then when he goes to the airport, he goes, "Oh, you're the crazy guy that tried to steal the cab off of me. You scared the bejesus out of me." Yeah, fuck it. I could quote loads of Planes, Trains, but
Mate,
yeah, easy number 1 for me. To that is love it.
Excellent. And come on, then, Robert. Oh, sorry, one more, Brennan, yeah.
Ben.
No, that's it, mate. Smokey the Bandit, Trading Places, 48 Hours, A Fish Called Wanda, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Perfect. Absolutely amazing. And I've got a few that you guys might have missed. Did you ever watch Revenge of the Nerds? Anyone remember
Yes.
that?
Was that Steve Martin? Tom Hanks.
Oh, it might have been Tom Hanks, actually. I thought it was Tom Cruise. That's a weird one. So that's a massive one, apparently. But Revenge of the Nerds, I've never watched it, but I know all about it.
Yeah.
So I might watch that tonight. That's going to be on my list. Airplane. None of us mentioned Airplane.
Remember when he keeps talking on the plane and everyone, like the guy that hangs himself.
Yeah.
Can you remember? He's just talking so much.
And then the guy pours petrol on himself and lights the match. Mate, it was brilliant. And then we've got, this Naked Gun. We missed all of that. I mean, the one where, where they get the condoms and they're having sex. It's like we're practicing safe sex and put those giant condoms on. I mean, you could go all day, can't you, a Naked Gun. Eric the Viking. Did anyone watch Eric the Viking? Right. If you haven't, I'm not going to say too much because if you're not watching, but watch Eric the Viking. It's about Vikings going off the end of the earth, like sailing on the ships, and it's just comedy gold. Just comedy gold. Howard the Duck. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that on my list to watch. I've watched it loads, but it is good, but it's fucked up. Adventures of Babysitting.
It was called something different, though, wasn't it?
The Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, it was. They had to change the name of it for some reason, but I remember it because wasn't the girl in it, young girl, dressed up as Thor or something?
Yeah,
Thor came into the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely called something before that.
I
100%.
thought that. I really did, because it came up on Disney.
Hold on, let me Google it.
It came up on Disney. The Monty Python's Meaning of Life. How the hell did we miss that?
One of my favourite films.
Mate, how good was The Meaning of Life? I mean, the teacher's having sex education where he brings his wife in. He's like, are you watching this? He's just shagging his wife in the school. I mean, it's just brilliant. And then where he sells all his kids. Sorry, kids, we've sold you all to the factories. Now you've all got to go. Oh, Dad. And then they've all got to go.
We don't use condoms because we're Catholic. She just gives birth, stood up to him, one just drops out of her.
It just drops out.
With me for you, ducky.
Oh yeah, and she's like, "Oh, another one. Get the blankets." And then you got
families in Yorkshire just full of kids.
And then you got Mr. Creosote as well. Mr. Creosote. Oh, fuck off! I'm stuffed. Go on, sir. He's just a waffafin. Oh my god. There's hundreds. I mean, you could just literally. I'm going through the list now, and I'm scrolling, and I mean, Can't Buy Me Love. I really enjoyed that. Coming to America. How the
Great film.
Fucking missed that?
Yes. Fuck you too.
The best bit is when
Rob at the beginning. He goes, "Do you want to buy some cutlery?" And it's all brand new gold in his coat.
The best bit for me is the hairdresser. I love the hairdressers. I could sit and watch those talk all day, and they're sitting there and he's like, every time a white man has to bring up Rocky Marciano. Every time.
Rocky Marciano was a good boxer, though.
He beat Joe Lewis's ass.
I want good American haircut.
There you go.
That was Cuba Gooding Jr. was in.
Yeah, he was.
That scene, wasn't
he was an extra, wasn't he? He was absolute extra.
Floor sweeper.
Yeah. That was Samuel L. Jackson, wasn't it? Who robbed the
McDonald's.
McDowell's. The Big Mick.
Can we have the Big Mick?
Fucking hell. Weekend at Bernie's. What film that is? I mean,
Weekend at Brent's.
Repo Man. You remember Repo Man?
Repo Man.
Yeah. Or The Burbs. You ever watch The Burbs?
Yes.
I only watched The Burbs the other day for the first time.
Was that Steve Martin?
That was Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Where he's accusing their neighbours of being murderers. And the whole film is just him, and they're trying to investigate his family of murderers. And obviously, right at the end, the police come. He's blew up the house, and they're sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, you know." And his wife's going, "You shouldn't have done that. You should have kept like you've accused him. This is what you've done. You've gone over the top." And then it actually turns out they are murderers, and he was completely right. It was fucking genius. I mean, we've got The Princess Diaries with Andre the Giant. Splash. Do you ever watch The Money Pit with Tom Hanks? Mate, the film list is endless, and it just goes on and on. The Great Outdoors. Oh, God. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. How good was that? Mate.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was Steve Martin, wasn't it?
Yeah. Caddyshack. Oh, my God. Risky Business. Airplane 2, obviously. Airplane 2. Ferris Bueller. So, yeah, I could go on. Fletch. What another great film. Strange Brews. Mate, the list is ridiculous. So, yeah. Comedies, we love them. And the 80s, in my opinion, dominated comedy films. Like, they dominated. And there's nothing better, comedy-wise, that have come out. There's some good comedies, but in the 80s, there was hundreds, and they were brilliant. I mean, The Golden Child, is that a comedy? I don't think that's a comedy.
Yes.
You think it's a comedy?
Yeah, but
Eddie Murphy, Golden Child, all day.
All day. Great film.
Oh, God, I forgot all about this one. Robin Williams, Good Morning, Vietnam.
Wow, that's a drama. That was great, wasn't it? Was it a comedy?
Awesome film.
So the top 5 gross in films was Big at number 5 for comedy. Number 4 was Trading Places. Number 3 was Beverly Hills Cop. Number 2 was Back to the Future. And weirdly, the winner of the top comedies was Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, they're all got that. Crocodile Dundee. Come in. Amazing. So
I don't need a gun. I got a donk.
like that bit just doesn't get boring.
Just sat on a keg drinking a beer, innit? Like, no, what's happening?
What's a dunk?
Yeah.
He's a donk.
I'm a dunk. He's got his front teeth missing, hasn't he? I'm a dunk. Right, so our top 5. So we're going to end the episode soon. So top 5 80s. Who wants to go first?
Oh,
So I'll go first. So obviously you guys aren't talking much. So for me, I've purposely not put some of these films in my lists so I could mention them. But most of them are in my list. There's only 2 that aren't. So Karate Kid was for me one of the greatest films of the 80s. I wanted to be Daniel. I had the figures. I was obsessed with Daniel's son and Mr. Miyagi, and I cried when Mr. Miyagi, the real person, died. Yeah, it was sad. And Karate Kid was my number 5. This is all-time favorite, and it took me a while. Goonies coming in at number 4. I cried. I wanted to be Mikey to the point where I went to the doctors and said, I've got asthma, just so I could I tried to trick the doctors to think that I had asthma so I could have asthma like Mikey. Like, I'm not joking. So yeah, the Goonies all day long. Number 3, not mentioned, Mannequin. I loved Mannequin. It's weird. It was strange. It was fun. It was the music soundtrack's probably one of the best in the 80s by a long shot. Number 2 was Pretty in Pink. Not many people would confirm that, but for me, Pretty in Pink was one of the greatest films ever made in the 80s. I rarely mention it because it's quite girly. Like, it's a girly film.
You love a girly film, though. It's something I've learned about you. You love a girly film.
I love a good romantic film. I do. I really, really do. And I love the underdog romantic film. That's what it is, you know. I do love that. I love it where the nerd gets the woman, and I love that kind of shit. I love it how the nerd beats the high school guy. I love the underdog story, so I think that's what it is. And obviously, number 1 is Stand By Me by a million, and nothing could beat it. And that's it. Stand By Me. Perfect in every way possible. It is one of my top 5 films of all time, ever, not just the 80s, ever. It's always been in my top 5. And I watch it all the time, and it makes me cry every time. It brings back memories. It's solid in every way possible. So yeah, that's my top 5. Bren.
yes, mate. Not going to put any surprises in there. I'm just going to pick, because I've been doing my list that I spent so much time on it, and Injustice. So number 5 will be Scarface, of my all-time 80s films. Number 4, Back to the Future.
Yep,
love him. Still watch him to this day. Number 3, Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Right. Just perfect comedy, perfect kind of pulls on the heartstrings as well with it kind of film. And it's even sadder now that the great John Candy's not with us anymore.
No.
Number 2, The Goonies. Just like I watched it with the kids. Like I said, I watched it last Saturday, so I still watch it. And number 1, again, just backing what Liam said, it will make my top 10, top 5 of any films ever made. Number 1, Stand By Me, because it just means everything. It's everything. What, you know, not just lads. You know, girls have that kind of friendship as well. They might not go on massive adventures like lads do, but it's just everything about having them close knit friends, and they go on an adventure together, and then they kind of learn the meaning. You know, but at the end, they said, just leave him there. Don't need to ring anyone, don't need to move him, kind of thing and stuff like that. So yeah, Stand By Me, 100%.
And I agree. I mean, it teaches you a lot, that film does. And it's like, it's like you look at your friends and you go out and, like it says, you never have the best friends ever. And you look at your friends and everything's perfect with your friends and you just have the best time ever. You go on adventures, you go on your bike rides, you go and make dens. You did also, but we're in that generation now where our kids aren't going to get to do that. And, we're the last generation of that Stand By Me era.
And that's sad.
It's really, really sad that our kids will not experience the fantastic summer days in a 6 weeks holiday where you just spend it all day in the woods, riding your bike, getting lost and finding new things. And, and that's what but then it also shows you parts where the kids have got like troubled households and, like mentally, like the fat kid who's always got like talking about food and he's a bit thick and he's always losing money and he's always got problems, and they've all got these problems, even though these 12-year-old kids, they've actually got adult problems,
Yeah.
And it touches in everybody. For me, it hits every heartstring. It hits every. I can't express like how perfect.
It's like anybody who's listening to this episode now, and I'm not trying to dictate to. I would never ever do that, and none of us would. But if your kid's not on going out building a den, get them into Lego, get them into Warhammer, get them into something other than social media and Fortnite.
Oh,
that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to do something, do give them something to do.
It's a disclaimer. There's nothing wrong with playing Fortnite with your kids.
There's nothing. Just let them build something.
Exactly.
Say that.
Creativity, isn't it? So come on, Robbo, let's give you your top fives.
I'm going to give you the ones for me, what meant stuff growing up. My childhood. One film sticks out for me, and I watched it near enough every day, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Great
Amazing film.
Great film.
Obviously, going into the next era of my life was me Forces Life, so I'd go for this one because we used to watch it just to get hyped up with Full Metal Jacket. Love that film.
Great film.
It's got to be there in my top 5. The one for me now, being a bit weird, being a bit of a rocker into the rocker films, as they say, the 80s one for us was The Lost Boys. I mean, I don't think there were a month that we didn't watch The Lost Boys. Love that film. Always will.
So, just while we've got you on The Lost Boys, so Marty, what's his name? Feldman. Marty Feldman? Corey Feldman, yeah?
Corey.
So,
Corey
he's
Feldman.
going around touring, and he's coming to the UK, and he sings The Lost Boys. Would you go and watch them?
100%.
I think I would. I think I would really like to.
Even to experience it.
Yeah, just to see Corey Feldman, I think. Like, just to meet Corey Feldman would be an honour. I think in America, in America, it's a joke. In England, he's a fucking legend. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But imagine hearing him sing Lost Boys. So, yeah.
It's okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So there you go. So next one, yep. So come on.
Geiger's a very big artist in my life. I've been to see the Museum of Geiger, and Alien were all based on it. Yeah, mate, I've seen it. It's in Amsterdam.
Wow, yeah, I've never went. That's the only thing I never didn't do in Amsterdam.
He's obsessed with 2 things, right? Cocks and aliens. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, wait till you see it. It's just all cocks and aliens. That's
I've
it.
heard that.
Yeah, amazing. And the big one for me, I've mentioned it, and it was my childhood, and I could watch it now. I could watch it tonight. I could watch it tomorrow. Flight of the Navigator. Number 1.
I might watch
Best
that tonight.
Best film of the 80s for me.
I feel like it's a Flight of the Navigator night. Just great film. I mean,
it's just that little thing he finds on plate, and he takes it with that little alien thing that is in his pocket. Amazing, mate.
Mate, it's that was the key, wasn't it? That was the thing that to the film. Like, I always wanted that, and you can buy them. Did you know that you can actually buy one if you go online now and Google one? You can buy one.
Love that.
I would, and I'd carry it around.
I would. I'd have it in my top pocket every day. It'd be my best mate.
And there we go. So, guys, we've done our top 5 80s. We've done all our 80s movies. Thank you for listening. What have you guys learned from this experience of looking at the 80s movies? We'll go over you, Bren. What have you learned?
Just the amount of quality fucking films that were around at that time. You know, obviously, we were all born in the 80s, early 80s, then mid 80s. But you know, I can remember.
Late 80s, I have you.
I I can remember to this day, like, you know, when I was young and you just get like a pack of Maltesers and sit down and watch the Goonies or Big, and it was great. You know, we didn't have 7,000 channels that we've got now. We didn't have Netflix. We didn't have, you know, used to go to the video shop and rent Big or Stand By Me or something. You know what I mean? These, you know, it's like, I just think back, and I can always remember when a film was released at the cinema, it would take about a year for them to be released on video.
Yeah,
and then it'd be like another year or 80, or until it even made the telly. Do you know what I mean? It's like you get films now that are released at the cinema, then 2 weeks later they're on Amazon Prime or they're on whatever. But yeah, just looking back at the old school films and just remembering times of just sitting down in your front room with a pack of Maltesers and a can of Panda Pop and a packet of April fruits and just sitting down watching Big. Yeah. You know what I mean, kind of thing. And it's great. It's great to look back. This is why I love doing this nostalgia podcast, because, you know, it gives us a chance to research the episode, and, you know, you find things that you do forget about things. When you get a bit older, you do forget things, guys. So yeah, I loved it, Liam. Good show, mate.
That's good. Rob, what did you learn?
I'm going to call it now, and it might cause a bit of controversy, but us millennials, which we are the greatest generation this earth has ever seen. We've had the old school, we've had before internet, we've had after internet, and we've had everything in between. We've experienced stuff us young listeners will never experience. Said it all. We're going out, making shelters, playing army, playing war. Then suddenly we had technology hit us like a ton of bricks. It's boom, here's a Tamagotchi, here's a Game Boy.
Yeah, it took us.
We've had it good, and no one will ever experience what we did.
I agree.
Again,
I agree. We're the last generation. So there was a thing that Jamie sent in the group. I don't know if you guys read it, but he turned around and it said we're the last generation from the old era where you work hard to get what you need, and you work hard, and now your work ethics. And then we were also raised in a split part of no internet and no mobile phones, and we managed to live that last childhood in the summers. I remember, right? I remember it, and I still to this day, it was one of the greatest moments of my life, if not the greatest moment. Obviously, my kid and meeting my missus isn't up there, but this, as a kid, this was something that was quite euphoric. And I remember sitting on, there was a concrete stump, and there's like a gate, and there's a path that goes down into the woods. And I remember the sun was slowly setting. It was the end of the 6 weeks holiday. And I remember, I think I was in it might have been the last year of the junior school. Or it might have been when he was 12. So I'm assuming it'll be year 7. So it was something like that. No, it was just before we went to senior school. So it wasn't when I was 12. And I remember sitting on this stump. I remember seeing it. And I remember my friends running around in the cornfields, like hiding and playing. I remember sitting there looking at them all and looking at the sun and looking at everything. And I took this moment in, only like 10 seconds. I remember sitting there going, that's the end of my childhood, and everything's going to change after this. I remember it, and it did, and it really did. And I don't know why I remembered it. I don't know why. And I still walk to the same spot, and I sit on the same thing. I did it like every time when I moved out of Derby, every time I come back to Derby, I went to this spot, and I sat down and I took this nostalgia in and just sat on this bit, and just it makes me smile every time I get there. And I remember
it's funny that, Liam, because I think everyone has that moment when they realise it's never going to be the same again. I did the same in our big park. I sat on the big wall, looked over. It was about year 8, year 9. I thought it's all's changing.
It's like,
what did it for me is you saw your mates suddenly getting girlfriends, and suddenly, we're not part of the group anymore. They're going to go do their own thing.
It's like
sad.
I'm sure it'll be the same for you, Robbo. But it was like, and I know it's the same for Liam. But if it wasn't pissing it down outside, you'd be outside.
Oh yeah,
100%.
You know, it doesn't matter if you've got a Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, or whatever in your room. You know, you would play. That was reserved for when it was pissing it down.
Yeah,
because you'd rather be outside kicking a football about, or on your skateboard, on your BMX, or building a den, climbing a tree, or doing whatever. You know,
100%.
It's pretty much like Liam said. I think it was in the last episode, or not the part 1 of this, but the one before that. I think it was like a Christmas one. I can't remember. But no kids play outside anymore.
I don't.
You know, they don't, mate. They're just sat inside with the phones in their hands, or they're glued to something on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is like what you said there, Liam, and what Jamie said. We are the last, you know, the last ones that ever did that kind of shit, you know. And I'm kind of proud of that, but I'm sad of that at the same time, you know.
It's sad they'll never experience what we experienced.
No, and I thought about it. I was like, I've said to myself, and me and Donna have sat down and we said we want to raise Frankie the way we were raised. Like Christmas this year, we've already decided we're going to have a Christmas like we had. So we're going to have like the old decorations that hang down. We're going to have paper, there's paper hoops that go across, and we're going to do it our way. We're going to show her cartoons like Turtles and He-Man and show her the old stuff that we loved. And, you know, and then I was like, well, I'm going to let her out to play. And then I was like, oh, man, I don't really want her out now these days because it's too fucked up. But when we were kids, we had all of us there, so none of this fucked up stuff could happen. But because we've been pulled in, we've kind of got it drilled into our heads now that we shouldn't be letting our kids go out. And it's a shame because I would love her to experience that, but I'm not going to allow my 11-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old go down the woods, which I would have done at 9 and 10.
Yeah.
But it's completely... And that's what I mean. It's the end. It is the end because I'm not going to let my kids do it. And no matter how much I want to push my childhood experiences on her, I don't want to also mess up the newer stuff. Does that make sense? It's a really strange way.
100%.
It's yeah, and it's a shame because I'm not going to let her. I can't because of the way it's changed, and and that's why I know we were the last generation of falling off your bike and scratching your knee, getting a fucking tissue with vinegar on it and washing it on your knee, and get out. You're done. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's sad.
By the lamppost going on. That were it. Get in by the lamppost turning on.
Yeah.
That were it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
True, mate.
Yeah. Wait to get 10 hang outside near a phone box, so when you ring it, are you all there? Right, I'll see you in a minute, mate. Like, phone up the phone box. Do you know what I mean?
Reversing your parents say, all right, what is your name? After the beat, yeah, Mum, I'm away on bike.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So there you go.
Reversing the charges. Fucking hell.
Yeah, and again, it's what I've learned. Exactly what you guys said. You know, it's the end of an era, but it's also it could be the start of a new one. But let's see how that pans out. We're never going to know. By the time we're old enough, we're not going to know what their experiences are. And it'll be nice to see at some point listen to a podcast where they have got it and saying, "Oh man, you never lived it." I was, you know, we sat there and we had tablets and we had mobiles and we sat there and we had the internet, we had Fortnite and that, and then like this, their next generation is going to be like sit there and have something completely new.
Hovercrafts.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking hoverboards and fucking
teleportation.
Yeah, 64s.
Yeah, great Scott. So yeah, or crazy scientists who can fly cars. So yeah, that's. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the 80s episode of films. This was in a part 2, and yeah, if you've got any questions or any experiences that you want to tell us about your 80s experience or any of the generation slips or stretches and your experiences, just let us know in the comments or message us privately. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you in the next one. See you in a week.
Take care.
It is.